A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Ladies, if you've been wondering about new developments in wash day products, here's sensational news I'm certain will surprise you. News that means a sparkling clean wash for you. Deep cleaning Oxidol reaches deep down into fabrics and gets out the gray dirt left enclosed by the leading wash day suds, the leading shortcut suds. Now, this news was demonstrated to women recently in actual washing demonstrations, and today you can hear in her own words what one of the women present at such a demonstration saw. Listen to Mrs. Guy C. Wallace of Flushing, New York.
In this washing demonstration, they used my clean clothes. At least I thought they were clean because I had just washed them with the leading suds the way you're told to. Then they washed those clothes over again, this time with deep cleaning Oxidol. You should have seen the dirty wash water come out of those clothes I thought were clean. That dirty wash water showed me that Oxidol really can get out the gray dirt left in clothes by those leading shortcut suds.
Thanks, Mrs. Wallace. And ladies, here's something you can do next wash day. Use deep cleaning Oxidol and see for yourself how much dirt Oxidol can get out of your clothes. And even more important, look at the clothes themselves. When you use deep cleaning Oxidol, your clothes look sparkling white and bright. Your clothes feel soft and fluffy. Your clothes smell wind-blown fresh and sweet. Yes, clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with deep cleaning Oxidol. Yep, Oxidol is really safe. Deep clean clothes stay brighter, new-looking longer. So don't wash clothes with suds that leave dirt in. Get clothes deep clean, sparkling clean with deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Ask your dealer for Oxidol today. And now, for Ma Perkins. Well, has Cousin Sylvester at last revealed his true nature? We know his wicked plan to make Fay fall in love with him, his objective, of course, being Fay's money. But suddenly, Sylvester made advances to Fay, which were far from welcome. And Fay gazed at him in horrified astonishment. On the other hand, Fay doesn't want any trouble, knowing how much Ma loves her cousins. What will Fay do? At long last, will Ma and Fay and the folks discover the truth about the greedy cousins? Well, it's the middle of the morning now, and we find that Fay has a caller. It's Gladys Pendleton who comes up to the front porch.
Hello? Anybody home? Fay? Got somebody at the door? I'm around here. I'm in the garden. Oh, in the garden. Hello, Fay. I'm coming around. Gladys.
Gladys? Yes, it is. Morning, Gladys.
And what a beautiful sight this is. Mistress Mary among her silver bells and cockle shells. And in a sunbonnet, too.
And where do you get an outfit like that? Gimme. Oh, Gladys is so cute. Turn around.
Thanks for the kind words. Got it in Bermuda. Pedal pushers.
With your color, it's just perfect.
Hi. Hi.
You come over to help me garden?
Nope. Came over to gossip.
Oh. Last night, you mean?
Sure. The most dramatic thing that's happened in Rushville Center since they put the railroad through. It's not every night that the country club sees a maiden in distress. Or is it?
I suppose I was very silly last night, asking you and your friend to drive me home.
Silly? Not at all. You were absolutely within your
no, he's very nice, your friend. I'm afraid I didn't catch his name, but he's very polite as well as distinguished looking.
Well, never mind about him. We're talking about you. I came over full of first aid for my bruised and tender little flower, Faye. Was that gorilla cousin of yours waiting for you when you got home?
No. And please don't call him names, Gladys. Sylvester is our cousin, and I'm not sure I wasn't a perfect little fool last night running away from him.
What? Hey, what goes on? Did that baboon make a pass at you last night, or didn't he?
Up until last night, he'd been a perfect gentleman. Date after date, week after week.
Yeah, but finally the sheep's clothing didn't fit anymore, and the big bad wolf showed through. So why are you suddenly of the opinion the fault is yours?
He called up last night after I got home, and he apologized all over the place. And don't you think it's as much the fault of the girl as the man when a man gets fresh? I've always thought so.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Your fault, you mean? Oh, don't be so innocent, Say. You know you didn't lead him on.
Maybe I led him on without ever knowing it. And yes, I am innocent. Maybe I've gotten sort of old maidish during the years I've been a widow. Maybe that's why I was so surprised and so offended when finally he tried to kiss me. Isn't it possible, Gladys?
Oh, sure, perfectly possible. Except for the fact that it's absolute nonsense, it's very coherent and logical. What's gotten into you, Faye? Last night you were ready to wipe the floor with the guy. Today you think maybe the fault is yours.
You see, honey, Ma's very fond of Benita, his mother. And Sylvester himself's been just wonderful to Ma and to me and to Paulette. Oh, Gladys, I don't want to bore you with family troubles, but if I quarrel with Sylvester, now I feel just terrible. We've had so many worries and troubles these past weeks. And what I said before is right, Gladys. I haven't been going out much during the past few years. I think I have become sort of prissy. You know, stuffy. I think I ought to give Sylvester another chance.
Oh, baby. I don't know why I set myself up as an expert. But on the subject of your cousin Sylvester and on the subject of men in general, Gladys Pendleton has the X-ray eye. You're not stuffy, Faye, or prissy, or old maidish, or out of touch, or anything like that. My friend Faye Perkins is the warmest, the most alive, the most womanly, the most feminine woman I know. And I think
she... Gladys, I love you. You're so wonderful for my morale.
Well, you and I are a funny combination, Faye. Maybe the year we're both 60, we'll just sit down and really open up our hearts to each other. But anyway, as I was saying, you're not a fuddy-duddy. You're a great deal more warm, anyhow more feminine than I am. I have a certain cold quality which antagonizes a lot of men, but not you. Were you ever afraid to kiss your husband?
Paul? Good heavens.
Of course not. And when you were in love with Dr. Andrew White, you loved to hold him in your arms, didn't you?
I'm not sure I see what you're leading up to, but yes, I kissed Andrew.
And when you think about the future, when you think of getting married again, I don't mean to anyone in particular, I mean to some nameless man whose face you don't even see clearly. But you don't have any doubt that you'll be 100% woman, do you?
I want to be 100% woman.
And so you see, the fault isn't yours, Faye. You have kisses within your own nature, don't you worry about that. The fault is 100% this crazy no-good cousin of yours.
Gladys.
I mean it. Your trouble is that you're too nice, Faye. You get home and you start thinking about your wonderful mother, Ma Perkins, and how much she loves the cousins, and then Mr. Sylvester calls you up on the phone and hands you that soft stuff. And I suppose you've been lonesome during the years and confused. But I repeat, Faye, that your cousin Sylvester is a hideous and repulsive example of 100% waste effort in a pair of pants.
Gladys, I'm very grateful for all the nice things you've said about me, but really, Gladys, dear, you just mustn't talk that way about Cousin Sylvester.
And why mustn't I? How hard do you want me to hit your face? By golly, I think I'll tell you the facts of life. Do you know that on the night I met your Cousin Sylvester, on the night you brought him over to my house, remember when I gave that little party?
Mm-hmm.
He followed me into the kitchen twice, and each time I had to get a little tough with him to keep him away from me. And what's more, between that time and this, your Cousin Sylvester has called me up 3 times. How about a little party, kiddo, just you and me? A big baboon, I wouldn't be caught dead going out with him.
Gladys, you're not being very nice.
Of course I'm not being nice. I'm trying to save you from making a very bad mistake. Your motives are wonderful, Faye. Your motives include modesty. They include a love for your family. They include everything generous, which is why the whole world loves Faye Perkins. But good as your motives are, they're leading you to a terrible conclusion. I tell you to your face, Faye, your Cousin Sylvester is no good.
Gladys.
Ain't this now? The two of you sitting with all the other flowers. You look like a pair of flowers yourself.
Hello, Ma.
Hello, Ma.
Oh, that color is so becoming, Gladys. Here, now, don't let me interrupt whatever you're talking about. How's your mother and your father, Gladys?
They're fine, thank you, Ma.
I forgot that you're going out to see Shuffle this afternoon, Ma. Excuse me, Gladys, I have to go in. Gladys, come to the beach with Paulette and me this afternoon, will you? I wanted to talk to you some more.
Okay, it's a deal. I'll pick you up at 1 o'clock.
Thanks, honey. And I do mean thanks.
Oh, you're looking well, Gladys.
Ma, you've gotten very attached to those cousins of yours, haven't you?
Why, I've always been attached to Cousin Benita, Gladys. She's the last one of the Perkinses. Last tie to my husband, you might say. Benita's a real fine person. And she ain't had an easy life.
Oh, golly. The Perkins family. So generous. So kind. And one day they wake up and they discover people have taken advantage of them. They're so very nice. And so very innocent.
What do you mean, Gladys?
Nothing, Ma. I'm just thinking out loud.
Ladies, there's a new wash day thrill waiting for you the first time you use Deep Cleaning Oxidol, because Deep Cleaning Oxidol reaches deep down into the fibers of clothes, floats grimy dirt away, and gives you a wash that's sparkling clean. You can see what this means when you wash clothes with Oxidol. They're dazzling white and bright. You can feel they're soft and fluffy. You can smell they're sweet. Yes, clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with Deep Cleaning Oxidol. So for a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, get Deep Cleaning Oxidol at your dealers now in the same familiar Oxidol package. And so Gladys delivers a strong warning to Faye. But Faye still hasn't decided. Won't the folks ever learn the truth about the cousins? Well, the cousins decide that they have to move fast and sweep Faye off her feet tomorrow. But now this is Charlie Warren inviting you to listen again tomorrow, same time, same station, to Oxidol's own Ma Perkins with Virginia Payne. Ma Perkins is directed by Edwin Wolfe. For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Nightfall, by Isaac Asimov.
Ralph Waldo Emerson speculated, if the stars should appear one night in 1,000 years, how would man believe and adore and perceive for many generations the remembrance of the city of God? This was philosophically interesting. But on the edge of the galaxy, a planet swings on its orbit in a cluster of 6 suns. These suns hang in the sky above. Never less than 2 shine down through the entire 23.8 hours of the planet's day. The yellow light has burned down on the planet continuously, into the past, till the mind of man runneth not to the contrary. Theremin was a reporter for the Sarrow City Chronicle. He covered them all, from the night police beat to politics to the sports pages, and the city editor wanted him to cover the biggest story of the year, perhaps of all time. It was an interview, a particularly difficult interview. But then, since his first days as a cub, Theremin had specialized in difficult interviews. It cost him bruises, black eyes, and broken bones, but it had gotten him an ample supply of coolness and self-confidence. He didn't expect violence, though, from an astronomer.
You're from that newspaper? Well, you got a lot of gall coming here.
Well, now, look, Dr. Aton, it's only a job.
I've read your paper. You've been writing this observatory for 2 months now. You've attacked me personally. I have nothing to say to you.
Well, this is your chance to get your side into the paper. Look, Dr. Aton, I'll give it to you straight. 2 months ago, the observatory issued a press statement that the world was coming to an end. Now, that's the same story the cult of the Book of Revelations had been preaching. Now, when a scientist backs that up, it's news.
Our conclusions have nothing to do with the cult. The cult is full of superstition and mysticism. We're scientists.
You've got the people pretty angry.
It doesn't matter.
If I can't get the story from you, I'll have to go somewhere else.
Go ahead.
The paper can be pretty rough on someone who doesn't cooperate, Dr. Aton.
Young man, if you're not out of the observatory within 5 minutes, I shall call the police. Now get out.
The reporter walks down the long hall from the observatory. The light filters through the high, clear-story windows. The yellow light of Gamma, the brightest of the 6 suns in the planet's sky. Beta is almost at zenith. Its red light floods the landscape to an unusual orange. The planet's sun Alpha is at the antipodes. And now, as Gamma sinks below the horizon, the red dwarf sun Beta is alone, grimly alone. It's a short drive from the observatory to Sarrow City, and the red light glares from the highway. The temple of the cult stands hewn from the solid rock of the Dormite Mountains outside the city, and in the inner courtyard stands Sor, the priest of the cult.
Woe to the unbelievers! Their souls will rot with the absence of light.
Tell me, Your Reverence, what will happen? What are you waiting for here?
The day of the coming. It is written in the Book of Revelations. It came to pass the sun Beta was alone in the sky, and the world was shrunken and cold, and men did assemble in the public squares and highways. Their minds were troubled, and their speech confused, for the souls of men awaited the coming of the stars, and the lip of the cave of darkness passed the edge of Beta, and loud were the cries of men, and there was no light on the surface of the world. And in this blackness there appeared the stars in countless numbers, and in that moment the souls of men departed from them, and their abandoned bodies became even as beasts. From the stars then reached down the heavens flame, and where it touched, the cities of the world flamed to destruction, so that of man and all the works of man not remained. So it is written.
Dr. Sharon, you're the only scientist I could find in the city. Where is everybody?
In the hideout.
The hideout?
Yes, but the place bored me. I wanted to be out here where things are getting hot. I want to see the stars the cultists are talking about. Besides, they don't want me at the hideout. I'm too scrawny to survive.
What is the hideout?
Well, we professors have managed to convince a few people that our prophecy of doom is valid. We've got about 3,000 people. They're supposed to hide where the darkness and the stars can't get at them. We hope they'll survive and leave the records.
Survive? Survive what?
Well, how true it is, I can't say, but the cultists say that every 2,050 years all the suns disappear, and there is a total darkness, and then they say things called stars appear. Of course, men go mad. They mix all this up with a lot of religio-mystic notions, but that's the central idea.
But that's impossible, isn't it? I mean, there are always at least 2 suns in the sky, most of the time 4 or 5.
There aren't now. Only Beta.
You mean that there is going to be worldwide darkness tomorrow, that all mankind will go violently insane? What's behind that?
Well, for one thing, the history of civilization of the world. We have located a series of cycles of civilizations comparable to our own, all of which, without exception, were destroyed by fire at the very height of their culture.
But is there any scientific theory behind this which would explain it?
Well, the University Observatory finished their calculations 2 months ago. And tomorrow there will be an eclipse of Beta, so that the planet will become dark. That eclipse comes every 2,049 years. Darkness. And maybe those mysterious stars that no man has seen. And then madness and the end of civilization.
And you expect to live through this at the hideout?
They plan to photograph the eclipse and leave the records. And then the rest of mankind will know what to expect.
Well, what is there in darkness to drive men mad?
Have you ever experienced darkness, young man?
Oh, no, but I know what it is. It's just no light.
Oh. Draw the curtain.
Why, what for? If we had 4 or 5 suns out there, we might want to cut the light down for comfort, but with only Beta...
Ah, that's the point. Just draw the curtain and then come here and sit down.
All right. I can't see you.
Feel your way.
But I can't see you. I can't see anything.
Do you like it?
Oh, it's awful. The walls seem to be closing in on me. I keep wanting to push them away.
All right. Draw the curtain back again.
Oh, the light. Do you have a drink?
Right here. Now, that was just a dark room.
Yes, but it wasn't really so bad.
You're afraid?
Just darkness could do that?
This isn't just a metaphysical theory, young man. It's promulgated from observed data. Well, come with me.
Where?
The locked wall down the corridor. Were you at the Cerro City Centennial Exposition 2 years ago?
I was overseas on assignment.
Well, you remember hearing about the tunnel of mystery that broke all records in the amusement area?
Oh, yes. Wasn't there some fuss about that? The Anti-Vice Society had it shut down.
Oh, it was shut down, all right. But the Blue Noses had nothing to do with it. That tunnel was nothing but a mile-long passage through darkness. You rode in a little car, and it took 15 minutes to get through. Oh, it was very popular while it lasted.
Popular?
Well, there's a fascination to be frightened when it's part of a game. Absence of light is one of the instinctive human fears. People came out of that 15 minutes of darkness shaking and half dead with fear.
Weren't there some deaths?
Oh, bad hearts, but that wasn't the big danger. Now, which key is this?
Where are we going?
You'll see. No, the heart attacks were actually good for business, but there was something else. Here, I'll show you. I want you to see somebody. Latimer. Latimer.
Go away.
Latimer, I want you to meet somebody. This is Mr. Theremin.
No, go away.
Hello?
He's pushing me. Make him stop pushing me. Go away.
I'm not touching him. What's wrong?
Latimer is afraid, aren't you?
The walls. They're falling in on me. The walls. I've got to get out. Let me out.
You can't go out, Latimer. Is it all right?
I've got to get out. Let me out.
At sleeping period, we have to give him a shot of morphine. Otherwise, he'd bat his brains against the wall.
What's wrong with him?
Nothing. Nothing but 15 minutes in the darkness of the tunnel of mystery.
Oh, that's impossible.
1 person out of 10 came out of the tunnel that way. That's why we had it shut down.
But why should darkness do that?
It's obvious men cannot exist without light. Longer periods of darkness would obviously be fatal. The scientific theory is that the consciousness of light is necessary for mental activity.
Please, doctor, let me outside. Let me out, please. I can't breathe. They're pushing me. They're always pushing me. I can't stand here.
Well, there you are, Theremin. That's what 15 minutes of darkness will do. Man just wasn't built to operate without light. There are always at least 2 suns in the sky, most of the time more.
Just 15 minutes of darkness.
Now, look out of that window. Imagine darkness everywhere. No light as far as you can see. Black. Everything black. And stars, whatever they are. Can you conceive it? No, your mind wasn't built for that conception. When the real thing comes, you will go mad. Completely and permanently. There is no question of it. Tomorrow, there won't be a city left standing in the world.
Why should the cities be destroyed?
If you were in darkness, what would you want more than anything else? What would it be that every instinct would call for? Light. And how would you get light?
I don't know.
You'd burn something. They've got to have light. They've got to burn something. And every city in the world will go up in flames. Well, shall we go back to my office, Mr. Theremin, and have another drink?
Through the skies, the red sun Beta shines alone. The wind howls across the city. It is cold, colder than man can remember. And as the hour approaches, the reporter goes out and speaks to the man in the street.
Excuse me, where are you going now?
Home for supper.
How about, what are you going to do tonight?
Oh, you mean about this star stuff? Look, I'll tell you, mister, I got nothing against religion, see? But it don't stand to reason that the end of the world is going to come boom like that. It just don't stand to reason.
Have you read what the scientists say?
Nah, I don't read stuff like that, only the headlines.
Well, how about the cult?
Well, now, like I say, I've got nothing against religion.
But you don't believe them either.
They've always been shouting about doom and sin. Listen, when you've been around as long as I have, you get to know the score. It's all right to preach Judgment Day is coming and all that, but Just the same, I'm putting money in the bank.
How about darkness?
About what?
How would you feel if there were no light?
You crazy. How could there be no light?
Well, suppose all the suns went down at once. Suppose everything was black.
That's crazy. What's the use of supposing something like that? It couldn't happen. It's crazy.
That's all. Thank you.
Sure. Oh, look, Mr. Remember, palette with 2 L's.
All this talk of scientific explanation. It's sinful, that's what it is.
Are you a member of the cult, sir?
Sure I am. Been a member since I was a boy. And Daddy was a member, too. I've seen the books. It's all written down in the books.
Don't you believe the scientist's explanation?
Don't need it. I'm going to save my immortal soul. I'm going to stay on the mountaintop in a white robe while the stars carry me away to glory. Blessed be the stars. Amen.
What are the stars?
The glory, the breath of the heavens, the spirit of the ultimate. That's what they are.
The observatory has announced that it intends to take pictures of the stars.
Blasphemy. I sold my house. I gave all my money to the poor. Won't need it anymore. I'm going to heaven with the stars. Glory, glory, going with the stars.
The reporter checks the stock exchange, the stores, business at a standstill. Doesn't pay to buy anything today, not if the world is going to end tomorrow. There are predictions of economic collapse in the financial section, layoffs at the factories on the edge of the city. And through the streets, the people will mill and turn, unsure, crying in fear or shouting with bravado. The story isn't here in the city. And so as the hour approaches, the reporter goes again to the observatory, high in the hills.
Look, Dr. Aton, if you are right, if the world is going to be destroyed, what is the difference if I stay here and observe and take notes?
Nothing, I suppose. You will be in the way. We have work to do.
If I stay out of the way.
Hello. Oh, this place is like a morgue. It's freezing outside. The wind is enough to hang icicles on your nose. Beta doesn't seem to give any heat at all, the distance it is.
Why aren't you in the hideout, Sharon?
Me? I'm part of the race that isn't worth perpetuating. Who's got a bottle?
There'll be no alcohol today. It'd be too easy to get my men drunk. I can't afford to tempt them. All right, Thurman, you can stay. Time we took our positions. The observatory dome is up these stairs.
After you.
What is that? Up in the dome, quick!
What is it?
It's the plates. The photographic plates, they're all smashed.
There he is. A cultist.
He's going for the telescope. After him.
All right, I've got him.
Let go! No. Let go must be destroyed! It must be!
It's all right. He didn't harm anything. Let him up.
That's the high priest. I was talking to him yesterday.
All right. What do you want?
Nothing that you would give me of your own free will.
I made a bargain with the cult to give me certain data that you had. In return, I promised to prove the essential truth of the creed.
There was no need to prove that. It stands proven by the book of Revelations.
I offered scientific backing for you believers.
You made of the darkness and the stars a natural phenomenon and removed all its real significance. That was blasphemy.
The facts exist.
Your facts are a fraud and a delusion.
How do you know?
I know.
I suppose you think in trying to warn the world against the menace of madness, we are placing souls in jeopardy, huh? Well, we haven't succeeded, if that makes you feel better.
Your devilish instruments must be destroyed. We obey the will of the stars.
Someone call the police in Cerro City.
There's no time for that. Let me handle this. The eclipse is only a few minutes away. Look, you. Will you give your word of honor to cause no trouble?
I will not.
Listen. Just as soon as the eclipse starts, we're going to take you and put you in a closet with the door closed, and you will stay there. Then you won't see the darkness, and you won't see the stars. And that means the loss of your immortal soul, according to the cult. All right. Will you give your word of honor?
You have it. You will all be damned for your deeds of today.
Look at Beta. The eclipse has started. You can see the blackness against Beta. Get busy on those cameras. Check the exposures very carefully.
You're shaking, Mr. Fetterman.
Yes, I don't feel very well.
You're not losing your nerve.
No, I'm just not used to it.
You could probably make the hideout.
I have been assigned to cover a story. I intend to cover it.
Oh, professional honor?
Yes.
Yes. Allah Sophanet Radrock. Allah Sophanet.
What is that?
The cultist. That's the book of Revelations.
I don't understand it.
He is chanting some old cycle language. The book of Revelations was originally written in it. There are probably 2 million people in Cerro City who are trying to join the cult. One gigantic revival.
How do the cultists manage to keep the book of Revelations going from cycle to cycle if everyone goes mad? Who wrote the book?
There are some people who don't see the stars. The blind, those who drink themselves into a stupor, and children, to whom the world as a whole is too new and too strange for them to be frightened at stars and darkness. They would have memories, and that, combined with the confused, incoherent babbling of the mad, form the basis for the book of Revelations. Oh, the cult will be riding high down there in the city. I hope they make the most of it.
Dr. Sharon, I just heard from the hideout on the private line.
Oh, they're in trouble?
They are safe, but the city is a shambles. You have no idea.
Well, it'll get worse. What are you shaking about, Dr. Ayton? How do you feel?
You don't understand. The cultists are rousing the people to storm the observatory, promising them immediate entrance into grace, promising them salvation, promising them anything.
How long till the total eclipse?
An hour.
Well, it's a gamble. It will take time to get a mob out here. If the darkness comes first, we're all right.
Oh, look at Beta. It's cut in half. Half of it is black.
Yes, it's getting darker. An interesting phenomenon. Oh, my collar is suddenly tight. Are you having any difficulty in breathing?
No, why?
Difficulty in breathing is one of the first symptoms. We have experimented.
I'm cold. Seems to be getting colder.
Yes, so we'd better keep our minds on something else. One of the astronomers has a theory about the stars, far away to see in the light. He developed a fantasy about a planet revolving around one sun. It's a mathematical possibility. Of course, there couldn't be any life. Part of the planet would always be dark and without light. Well, it's obvious. Without light, there can't be any life.
It's time for the artificial light. We can't read the instruments.
Artificial light?
One of the researchers at the university worked it out.
Why, it's beautiful. Yellow light. After 4 hours of red. It's beautiful. Light. Light.
The dome is quiet. The priest in his yellow robe sways slowly as his lips move in the ancient tongue. Over and over, he whispers the invocation to the stars. The technicians hunch over the instruments, and the sky gradually turns a horrible deep purple red, and the air grows denser. Dusk, like a palpable entity, enters the room, and the dancing circle of yellow light about the torches etches itself into ever sharper distinction against the ever-gathering grayness beyond. Outside, Beta is a mere smoldering splendor, taking a last look at the world. The western horizon, in the direction of the city, is lost in darkness, and along the highway to the observatory surges a menacing, shadowy mass.
Mob from the city, they're coming.
How long till total eclipse?
15 minutes. They'll be here in 5.
We'll hold them off. Come on, Fetterman, downstairs.
But there's no light down there.
We have to block the door. Come on.
I can't breathe. I can't go down there.
Take a torch. We'll take light with us. Come on. Ayton.
I'm here. Did you bar the door?
They won't get in.
All right now, everybody. 1 minute till totality. 1 minute. Just before totality, I'm changing the plate. That will leave one of you for each camera. You know all about times of exposure. Now remember, don't try to look for good shots. And if you feel yourself going, get away from the camera.
It's dark. It's getting dark.
Sharon. Sharon, where are you? I can't see you, Sharon.
I'm right here.
30 seconds.
Look out. The priest.
I can't see him.
And the wicked shall perish in the souls of the true believers, shall be transported in glory to the stars.
You can see him against the torch.
Don't let him get to the
From
telescope.
the stars that reach down a heavenly flame, and where it touched the cities of the world, flame to utter destruction.
Grab him!
You shall not
Grab him!
blaspheme! The world must be destroyed by the stars! It must be! Let me go!
I'll take care of him.
Ah!
5 seconds to totality. 4, 3, 2, 1.
The sky is black, and through it shine the stars. 30,000 minute suns shine down in a soul-searing splendor. It is more frightening in its awful indifference than the bitter wind that shivers across the horrible, cold, bleak world.
The stars. The stars. The stars. It's dark. 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 The walls. The walls are coming in on me. They're coming in. Light. 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 Darkness. Forever.
Light.
And ever. And ever.
Light.
And the walls are breaking in. We did not know. We did not know. We did not know.
On the horizon, in the direction of the city, a crimson glow begins growing. 1,000 fires strengthen in brightness that is not the glow of the sun. 1,000,000 fires, as a world mad in the darkness screams in terror for the light. The night has come again.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Nightfall by Isaac Asimov, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes, John Larkin, Santos Ortega, Mercer McLeod, Alan Collins, Bob Hastings, and Roy Fent. Your narrator was Floyd Mack. Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
It's groomed for your interests. Weekday NBC Radio.
The Magic Island is underwater. 50 feet below the surface of the South Pacific Ocean lies the strange hidden Isle of Euclidia. The battle fleet of one of the great nations is holding maneuvers in this section, and the Euclidean scientists have submerged their island rather than run the risk of detection. The Gregory yacht has been drawn into a submarine lock with all on board, but now only Mrs. Gregory and Jerry remain with the crew, as Captain Tex Bradford and Joan have been taken to another part of the island by G-47. Jerry and Mrs. Gregory are talking excitedly about a radio message just received from Johnson's boat. The skipper is with them.
That's fine, Jerry. Then as long as the broken aerial is tied to the anchor chain, you will be able to use the radio.
I think so, Mrs. Gregory. You see, the anchor lies on the bottom of this steel lock, and with the aerial mixed up with the anchor chain, we've really got the whole island as an aerial.
Was that all you had to tell us, Skipper? Did you see where G-47 took Joan and the captain?
Nope.
Just let the anchor stay down, won't you, Skipper? And take another turn or two of aerial wire around that anchor chain to be sure it won't slip off. Will you please, sir?
Aye.
That's all, Skipper. Thanks a lot.
Aye.
The skipper don't waste a whole lot of time talking, but he knows what he's doing all the time.
J12C to J24Y, regular quarter-hour report. If you are getting me, try relay to land station. No signal from you for 24 hours.
Poor Johnson, he doesn't know we're getting him.
Large fleet holding maneuvers near last position you gave me. You should be able to contact fleet if in same vicinity, making no attempt to move to your aid as per instructions. J12C, standing by. J12C.
Gee, I'd like to try sending a message to him.
I'm afraid it wouldn't be safe, Jerry. These men would be sure to intercept it on the island.
I don't know, Mrs. Gregory. We've got plenty of aerial now, and Johnson's only about 300 miles from here. It might work. But if their radios are grounded on the same framework, no use. They'd pick it up, sure.
The thing I'm afraid of, Jerry, is that Johnson may send one of the pigeons from his boat. And with our yacht in this lock, the poor bird would be hopelessly lost.
Yeah, Tex was worried about that, too. But I don't know how to send a message to him that G47 can't figure out.
I know the code, Jerry, but it's too dangerous, and I think Tex would just want us to wait a few hours and see if our pigeon gets to Johnson's boat all right. Then we can take action.
Okay, Mrs. Gregory. I guess you're right. But it's a funny feeling to have a radio and not to be able to use it.
Jerry, did you feel that?
Yeah. Kind of like a little earthquake.
It was sharper than that. There wasn't any sound, yet I distinctly felt the boat shudder just a little.
Sure. That fleet's right over us. They must be starting target practice.
There it is again. And again. And again. Yes, Jerry, that's target practice.
Boy, I hope they don't use any torpedoes.
Or wouldn't the magnetic field around the island deflect the torpedoes away from us?
Yeah, if they're using the magnetic field. But I don't think they are.
Why not?
Because that would call attention to the island. And I think what old G47 wants most of all right now is to keep his island a secret.
That's right, Jerry. And there may be a chance of a stray torpedo coming this way, though I think we're too deep for a direct hit.
I'm getting kind of nervous about Joan and the captain. I wish we knew what they were doing.
So do I, but I think no harm will come to them.
I'm not so sure about that. Let's go and look for them.
Tex told us to stay here. He wouldn't want us to move around and leave the radio.
Yeah, I suppose so. But there's no danger of Johnson calling again right away. He said he'd call every quarter hour.
I'll stay here, Jerry, if you want to go look for them. I'll be quite all right here.
No, ma'am. We go together or not at all. Tex left me to take care of you, and I'm going to do it. I got it. We can leave the skipper in here with the radio. Then we could go and know that someone was here to take any message that came in.
We'll do that, Jerry. Go and bring the skipper, will you?
Okay.
J12C to J24Y. J12C calling J24Y. Message just received. You must be in danger. Your position has given me impossible. No island at such position. Just received message from battleship engaged in long-range fire on that position. Reports no island. Ship has been getting me clear. Why no message from you? J12C to J24Y. Will ask fleet to look for you. Standing by. Johnson.
That's a funny one, isn't it?
What's funny about it, Jerry? Johnson has been talking with one of those ships overhead, trying to check on our position. And they've naturally reported to him that there is no island here. There isn't, as far as the fleet navigators know.
But that's what's funny about it. How did Johnson get that message without me getting it here?
Why, Jerry, you're right. Our radio should have picked up the ship's message. And if we can hear Johnson 300 miles away, why couldn't we hear the ship standing within a few miles of us, possibly right over our head?
For a mighty good reason. The ship didn't send any message.
You mean?
I mean it's a gag, a bluff. Johnson's trying to put over a message to us, telling us that he's near enough to know all about the fleet being right on our position.
To J24Y. Johnson to Bradford on J24Y. Flash from fleet in maneuvers. Small cruiser or yacht reported burning at sea near your last position. I am going to disregard your orders and sail at once. The bosun threatened to go without me. Says it's an easy course and he can navigate it alone. So I have decided to go. If your radio is dead on the transmission side, but you can receive this, use manual signals to one of the fleet. I will contact them and pick you up. Sailing at once. Expect average 40 knots. J12C to J24Y. Will call from harbor at Pedro. Johnson.
No, it's getting more mixed up.
It's all right, Jerry. That was in code. And Johnson used a long story to cover up the 10 or 12 words of value he put carelessly in the middle of it.
Well, tell me about it then. I guess I missed it.
I hope G47 did, as it's certain they'd be listening to the message.
Well, what's it all about?
Johnson said the bosun was going to take the boat out without orders if he wouldn't sail. The bosun, Jerry.
Gee, the bosun. The homing pigeon. Boy, is that slick. And I missed it.
I wonder if we should try to find Tex or get word to him.
I'm not so sure about that. We might get all excited and give the thing away. And if G47 knows we're getting any message of value over that radio, he'd soon rip it out of here.
On the other hand, Jerry, it's only by allowing us to keep the radio and intercepting our messages that G47 has any chance to learn of our plans. No, I think we'll be allowed to keep the radio.
Well, we could send the skipper after Tex and Joan.
Yes, but I'm not sure, Jerry. Let's think on it a few minutes.
How about my trying to send a message to Johnson? Maybe we could word it so G47 wouldn't make anything out of it.
Well, it might be all right, Jerry, and it would help a lot if Johnson could know that the bosun was on his way to him. But it's too dangerous, I think. We'll just have to wait for Tex and see what he says.
Hello, folks.
Tex, where's Joan?
She's in submarine lock 6, right next to this one. And there's going to be something doing mighty quick.
What's going on, sir?
That last message of Johnson's. I was in the communication chamber getting a lesson on how hopeless our situation is here when that message came into you.
Yes, Tex, and did you understand it? Did you get what Johnson meant about the bosun?
Sure, I got it, but the trouble is that G47 got it too.
What?
Golly, that's bad. You mean G47 knows we sent that pigeon to Johnson? And that Johnson's close enough to receive it right now?
Worse than that, son. They've got directional graphs and range finders in that control room that make anything we've got look childish. And 30 seconds after Johnson's message came, they located him in their directional finders. And they know his position to the fraction of a second.
But, Tex, I know that's bad. And it will hurry Johnson into running away the moment he gets the message off the bosun. But after all, G47 can't do anything about it. He doesn't dare make a move with this battle fleet playing around right over our heads.
That's what I thought, too, but I didn't realize how desperate these scientists are or how much that formula means to them.
But, gee, Captain Bradford, they're not going to try to stop that pigeon with all the battleships around here, are they?
No, not the pigeon, for they're smart enough to realize they can't afford to fight with this fleet just at this time.
But Joan said they could destroy battleships quickly and easily with their ray guns.
So they can, but it would bring the rest of the world down on them. And they're not just ready for that. They've got to have my formula first. And then they will be able to attack the entire world or defend themselves against it.
Gosh, what's it all about, Captain? They just simply can't do anything to that pigeon without the battle fleet seeing them do it. Joan said their large ray guns weren't accurate enough to pick that pigeon out of the air over 50 miles away. And he ought to be nearing that now.
Of course, Tex. You're just worried by seeing their wonderful equipment. Jerry's right. They couldn't hit the pigeon with a ray. And, Tex, more than that, we're submerged. They can't even use the air rays. And a submarine ray wouldn't hurt the pigeon any.
No, a submarine ray wouldn't hurt the pigeon any. But a submarine would hurt Johnson.
Golly whiskers, Captain.
Tex, not with this battle fleet right around here. Why, they wouldn't dare.
Maybe not, but they're going to just the same.
You mean they're going to send a submarine out after Johnson's boat with all these surface ships and maybe a sub or two of their own out there?
Just that, son. And I want you to go along with them.
Huh? Me? Me go in the submarine?
Why, Tex, you don't know what you're suggesting.
It's not a suggestion. It's an order. You want to sign on this yacht as a member of the crew, didn't you, Jerry?
I did, sir.
All right. Report to Submarine Lock 6 immediately for observation duty on the Euclidean submarine.
Aye, aye, sir.
But, Tex, if anything should happen...
That'll do, Pat. Jerry's going with that sub. You'll follow the ramp back into this lock. Turn left at the end of the lock. You'll find a guard there to take you to the sub. Come on, snap it up. You're holding them up now. Shove off.
Aye, aye, sir. Any special orders?
Keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. Use your own judgment. That's all.
Tex Bradford, do you realize what you've done? You sent that boy out there into certain danger. I could almost hate you for that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. But I'm in command of this expedition, and it's the only thing to do. I wanted to go along, but G47 was too smart for that. He figured I might be able to warn Johnson some way when we got near him, or beat them to the note I sent with the pigeon and destroy it.
But Jerry will have to stand by and watch them sink our other boat with Johnson and the crew on board.
No danger of that. They want the equipment on board too badly. All Jerry will have to do is to keep his eyes open and warn Johnson not to resist. He'll do that. The kid thinks fast, and they were afraid to let me go.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry I was so... Tex, where's Joan?
Joan, why? Oh, she'll be all right. Jerry will take care of her.
Jerry? Then Joan... Tex, Joan is going on that submarine?
Yes, dear. G47's orders. He knows we won't dare to make a move to contact this battle fleet or harm the sub in any way with Joan and Jerry aboard.
Joan. And Jerry.
Steady, dear.
I'm not going to pieces, Tex. I was just thinking how safe the future of the world is in the hands of young people like that.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents...
The Adventures of Superman. Today, a difficult task faces Clark Kent. For though Chuck Riggs is found, fear of his uncle and the dread clan of the Fiery Cross may once more keep him silent.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Why don't you give it a whirl? A blueberry whirligig, I mean. This week's nifty pep dish of the week. Why, it runs circles around most any other breakfast combination you ever tasted. Try it tomorrow. First, you sprinkle your serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, with white, fresh blueberries. Then, not carefully, of course, take your spoon and give it a whirl so the juicy berries are all mixed in with those crisp flakes of pep. Finish off with milk and sugar, and there's your blueberry whirligig, a neat way to dress up your dish of Kellogg's Pep. No kidding, gang. Pep sure does something for those berries. It's tender and toasted, for one thing, and Pep is loaded with its own sparkling sunshine flavor. A comeback for more flavor that keeps your spoon coming right back until you've finished off every golden flake in your bowl. Which is certainly the right idea. You see, the cereal grains, like the whole wheat and Kellogg's Pep, are being sent to fellows and girls abroad. So you wouldn't want to waste cereal. Think of that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Always eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Now, the Adventures of Superman. When Editor Perry White launched a vigorous newspaper campaign against the clan of the Fiery Cross, a group of hate-mongers and terrorists whose credo is one religion, one color, the clan abducted White and Jimmy Olsen and prepared to tar and feather them. But when White tore the hood from the leader's face, revealing him as a man named Matt Riggs, the editor and Jimmy were condemned to death. Meanwhile, Clark Kent was searching for an unknown boy who had phoned him one night with information about the Klan. Kent finally traced the boy to the Unity House baseball team. As we continue now, Kent is alone with the frightened boy, Chuck Riggs, nephew of the Grand Scorpion of the Clan of the Fiery Cross. Listen.
You are the boy who phoned me the night Tommy Lee was hurt, aren't you, Chuck?
Who, me? What makes you think...
Don't lie now. You phoned me the night the Clan of the Fiery Cross was going to tar and feather Tommy Lee, didn't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yes, you do. You know the Clan of the Fiery Cross has got Jim and Mr. White. Now, all I want you to tell me is who some of the Klansmen are.
Well, how would I know?
You knew a lot about them the night you phoned me. You knew where they were taking Tommy, what they were going to do to him.
Oh, look, why don't you let me alone?
Because a boy's life is in danger and the life of a fine man. And not only they, but every boy and man and woman and girl in the United States is in danger until that Klan is stamped out. Look, son, you know what the Clan of the Fiery Cross stands for, don't you?
No, I don't know anything about them.
No, you don't. Well, they're cowardly gangsters who operate at night, hidden behind sheets and hoods. Their minds are diseased with hate. They hate the people who go to one church or those whose skin happens to be a different color. No one is safe from them. Do you want to protect people like that, Chuck?
Me? No.
All right, then tell me who they are. Tell me the name of even one of them. I'll guarantee to round up the rest.
But jeepers.
You're afraid to tell me, aren't you?
Afraid?
Yes.
No. Why should I be afraid?
You're afraid the Klan will tar and feather you if they find out you told me.
Gosh, don't say that.
Look, Chuck. Suppose I could show you that you'd be safe, that the Klan couldn't get you. Would you tell me what I want to know then?
You can't show me. They're watching me. Maybe right this minute they... I didn't mean to say that.
It's all right, son. It's all right. I understand. Look, do you think Superman could protect you from the Clan of the Fiery Cross?
Superman?
Yes. If Superman promised to protect you, you wouldn't be afraid then, would you?
Well, no, I guess not, but... you're just trying to fool me, Mr. Kent. You can't get Superman.
Think not? Get ready for a surprise, Chuck.
Where are you going?
To get Superman. You stay right where you are.
Walking behind the locker room, Kent swiftly strips off his business suit and stands revealed in the blue costume and red cape of Superman. Up, up, and away! Rocketing high above the clouds, the Man of Steel hovers a moment, then plummets to earth to land beside the amazed Chuck Riggs.
Creepers, who?
Clark Kent said you had something to tell me, Chuck.
Superman. Gee whiz. Where'd you come from?
I just dropped from up above the clouds.
Golly, are you really Superman?
I am.
Jeepers. Superman.
Look, Chuck. You think you can trust me to protect you from the Clan of the Fiery Cross?
Oh, sure can. Gosh, Superman, am I glad you're here. I almost went crazy worrying about Jim. I was going to go to Mr. Kent this morning when I saw that letter in the Daily Planet.
Then it was you who called Mr. Kent that night.
Yeah, sure. I was going to go to Mr. Kent this morning. Honest, I was. But my Uncle Matt stopped me. I think he suspected I called Mr. Kent about Tommy Lee. He said the Klan was watching me and warned that if I went near Mr. Kent, I'd get tarred and feathered.
Who is your Uncle Matt, Chuck? What's his full name?
Matt Riggs. He's a trucking contractor. My mother and I live in his house.
Is he a member of the Klan?
He sure is. He's the big shot, the Grand Scorpion.
The Grand Scorpion, eh?
Golly, if he knew I was telling you all this.
You don't have to worry now, Chuck. I can handle your Uncle Matt and all his robed and hooded gangsters. Tell me, did you hear him say anything about Jim and Mr. White?
Uncle Matt was mad as anything at those stories Mr. White put in the Daily Planet about the Klan and the reward he was offering.
Yes?
I heard him say on the phone to somebody that they had to get Mr. White.
Where's your Uncle Matt now, do you know?
No, sir, I don't.
Well, all right, let's see if we can't find him. Up in my arms with you, Chuck.
Are we going to fly?
We are. Hang on now.
Oh, boy, flying with Superman. I must be dreaming.
Here we go. Up, up, and away! That your house down there, Chuck?
I can't be sure from up here. Yeah, that's it. Here's the garage and the apple tree. And my bike under it.
Nobody in the garage and just a woman in the house.
It must be my mother. Oh, gosh, if she could see me with you.
No time for that now. Look, Chuck, are you sure you don't know any other of the Klansmen?
I just know one of their names is Will, and one is Ralph.
You know their last names? Never saw any of their faces.
No, they had on their sheets and hoods the only 2 times I saw them. The night they took Tommy Lee away, and at their meeting.
At their meeting? You were at a Klan meeting?
Yeah. When Uncle Matt made me lie about Tommy Lee beating me on purpose and trying to kill me.
Where was this meeting?
Way up in the hills someplace. Gosh, it was spooky. A big burning cross, and all those guys in their robes and hoods.
All right, never mind that. Where in the hills, do you remember?
Let's see. I know we went out past the bend.
The river bend?
Yeah. And then we turned off someplace and started to climb into the hills.
All right, we'll go out to the bend and try to find where you turned off. Hang on. Away! There's the bend down there, Chuck. There's a fork just above it. Is that where you turned off?
Wait. Yeah, Superman, that's the place. I remember that broken-down old mill. We climbed way up into the hills. Must have been a couple hours we climbed. And then we went off the road and went through the woods to a clearing.
All right. We'll follow the road and look for a clearing. Away! A truck couldn't have gone much farther than this in a couple of hours, Chuck. I don't see any other road turning off to a clearing, though.
It wasn't exactly a real road, Superman.
Oh?
Just some ruts going through the woods.
Oh, well, let's go down lower and look.
You find the ruts, Superman?
No, not yet. Are you sure? Wait a minute, I see them.
You do?
Yes, we'll follow them. Let's hope they're the right one. Away! There's a clearing. Yes, it's the one we want, too.
Are Jim and Mr. White down?
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
Down to that clearing. Down! This the place, Chuck?
Yeah, this is the place, all right. Look, there's a half-burned wooden cross. But where are Jim and Mr. White? And the Klansmen?
They're gone, Chuck. We got here too late. Now, where do we look?
Helplessly, Superman and Chuck Riggs stare at the deserted clearing, empty save for a half-burned wooden cross. What has happened to Jimmy Olsen and Perry White? We'll return in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, if you made a list of the good things you want in a breakfast cereal, they'd all add up to Kellogg's Pep. Sure, take looks, for instance. You like a dish that looks golden and crisp and melt in your mouth tender. And that's Kellogg's Pep. And flavor. Don't you get a kick out of sparkling sunshine flavor? Well, Kellogg's Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. Those sunny whole wheat flakes give your appetite the old come on every time. And you want your breakfast cereal to be good for you, too. So, Kellogg's Pep gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. What's more, Pep tickles your taste so you want to eat the hearty sort of breakfast that helps start your day in high. You bet. There are so many good reasons why you'll want Kellogg's Pep often and why you'll want to eat up every tender flake in your bowl. And, gang, here's another angle. Nowadays, we're sending the cereal grains to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls all over the world. So, you don't want to waste cereal. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure it's not wasted. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and polish off every bit you pour out. That's important, gang. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
As Superman and Chuck Riggs dropped into the deserted hideout of the clan of the Fiery Cross, a truck is rumbling down a narrow hill road many miles away. In the back of the truck, bound hand and foot and gagged, are Perry White and Jimmy Olsen, surrounded by 10 robed and hooded figures. At the wheel is Will Jennings. Beside him is Matt Briggs, Grand Scorpion of the hooded terrorist band.
What's the idea of this extra long trip, Matt? Why didn't we shoot White and Olsen up at the hideout and be done with it?
And where'd we bury him?
Why, up there in the clearing.
Oh, where's your brains, Will? That place isn't safe since my nephew was up there the other night.
Your nephew? Oh, you don't think...
Yes, I do. I'm kind of worried about him. He acted awful funny this morning about that letter in the Daily Planet. You know, the one that Clark Kent wrote to the kid who called him the night we grabbed that Chinese boy?
Yeah, why? Where does Chuck fit in that?
I kind of think he was the one who called Kent.
What?
Hey, watch where you're going, will you? You almost went off the road.
Oh, you scared me. Holy smoke, Chuck knows all about us. If you was afraid you'd squeal, how come you didn't do something about him?
Because I'm not sure, that's why. But I'll find out for sure when I get home tonight. That's why we didn't do this job up at the hideout. So in case Chuck does squeal, if he brings the cops up there, they won't find anything, you see?
Yeah, I see. I gotta hand it to you, Matt. You think of everything.
Well, I try to. This is important work we're doing, Will. Hey, look. Look at that glade in the woods over there. That ought to do just fine.
Oh, you think it's safe?
Sure, it's safe. It's just far enough away from the hideout and off the road. Pull in there.
Okay.
All right, brothers. Drag out those two punks, White and Olsen, and let's get this over with. This is the end of the line for them.
Leaping from the truck, the robed and hooded bigots hauled the bound and gagged Jim Olsen and Perry White from the truck and dragged them off the road to a tiny glade among the trees. Is this the end for our friends? Will the men of hate execute the death sentence before Superman can reach them? No, there still must be a chance that right and the Man of Steel will prevail. Tomorrow's episode is packed with thrills and action, fellows and girls, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the Adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, your dog's as good as any champ, isn't he? So see that he gets Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food like lots of champion dogs do. Mix Grow Pup in with his table scraps of meat and fat, and it'll give him lots of muscle, help keep him husky and strong. He can take his pick of 3 different kinds of Grow-Pup, too. There's Grow-Pup Ribbon, Grow-Pup Meal, and Grow-Pup Pellets. They're all just full of wonderful meaty flavor. Ask your mother to get Grow-Pup today. It's good for champs, good for your dog, too. Remember, that's Kellogg's Grow-Pup. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Escape.
It's time to escape into the world of adventure. Time to forget for the next half hour the 4 walls of today and escape beyond the horizons of the mind to yesterday and tomorrow. CBS and its affiliated stations present Escape. Tonight we escape with Rudyard Kipling and the 2 gentle scoundrels he created in his immortal story, The Man Who Would Be King. The time, sometime before yesterday. The place, the north of India. The man who tells the story, Rudyard Kipling.
One Saturday night, it was my unpleasant duty to put the paper to bed alone. It was a pitchy black night, as stifling as night can be in India in June. It was very still, save for the ticking of the clock above my desk, which seemed to shatter the black heat of the night as the hands crept toward 3 a.m. And then from the passage outside my door, I heard voices.
Your light burns, and he must be here. Open the door.
Who's there?
Only us.
Who are you?
He don't remember us, Dan.
That he don't.
How could he forget having us turned back at the Jodhpur border? Told the authorities we was impersonating newspaper reporters, he did.
Wait. That flaming red beard and that bald head. Why, you're Daniel Dravett and Peachy Carnahan.
The same.
Well, what do you want? If it's money, I haven't any. If it's a fight, it's simply too beastly hot.
You can rest yourself easy, sir, because we've come asking for naught except some information.
We've been all over this country, and we've concluded that India isn't big enough for such as Daniel and me.
So we're going away to be kings.
Kings in our own divine right.
What? Aye, we shall be kings.
We've signed a solemn contract, each to help the other, and neither of us to take a look at liquor or women until we become kings.
Why, I've never heard of such a fantastic idea. But what is it you want of me?
Naught but to look at such maps of Kafiristan as you might have about.
Maps of Kafiristan?
That's where we've decided to go.
But don't you realize that not one single Englishman has ever gone into the Kafiristan mountains and lived to come out again? If you're really mad enough to go there, you're a good deal more likely to become dead men than kings.
We shall see.
Anyway, I don't believe you have the slightest intention of traveling a mile outside of Delhi.
Then you should come down to the Serai marketplace in the morning, down where the caravans leave for the north.
Yes, come down to the Serai in the morning and see then if we be liars.
Oh, thieves, robbers, liars, the blessing of Pierre Khan upon all pigs, dogs, and perjurers. Who will take the protection of heaven?
You should not laugh at him, Sahib. The witless are under the protection of Allah.
Quite so, boy. Who is the fellow anyway?
A mad priest, Sahib, who has arrived only this morning from Ajmer.
Ah, yes, Sahib. Come to look at my camels, loaded with toys to please the eye of an Amir.
Oh, here now. Go about your business. I haven't any use for toys.
These are wondrous toys indeed, Sahib. Fit for a king of Kafiristan.
What? Good Lord. Daniel Dravett.
Quiet. Come along. I've 2 camels just beyond the wall here.
The blessings of Pir Khan on the gracious Sahib, who consents to look at the poor toys of a priest from Ajmer.
Over this way.
Where's Carnahan?
Here we are. Permit me to present my servant, Hazir Mir Khan.
At your service, Goodman.
Well, I'll be...
Do you like our disguises? Do they pass?
If they fool this crowd in the Serai, they're probably good enough to get you across the border and good enough to get you killed.
Getting killed is no part of the contract Peachy and me drawed up. Although perhaps killing fits in with our plans in a different sense. Feel around underneath the toys there in the camel bags.
What?
Go ahead.
Good Lord. Rifles.
20 brand new martinis with ammunition to match.
And 20 good reasons to make your death certain. Any Pathan of the hill tribes would kill his own mother to get a rifle.
Now who would harm a poor mad priest, Sahib? Allah protects me.
Mad is right.
Then so was Lord Clive and Rhodes and Bonaparte. Drive out the camels, Peachy. We've a long way to go before we become kings.
Hey, up! As I stood and listened to the camel bells fade away in the distance, I wondered if it might not be a glorious thing to go to Kafiristan and be a king. 3 years pass in India much as they pass in any other land. It grows hot, then the rains come, and then the heat again. Some colonel at a hill station puts down an uprising. A new viceroy comes out from London, and the paper duly records the death of a sultan in Rajputana, and the trees in the courtyard grow a few feet taller. Finally, time in its circle turned up another night, much like the one 3 years before. Once again I sat alone in the office, listening to the clock and waiting for some unimportant item to come over the wire from Europe. It was long after midnight when my office door slowly opened. I say, look here, you might knock first, you know.
No.
Good Lord, man. What's wrong?
You don't know who I am, do you?
No, I haven't the faintest idea. But here, you'd better sit down, old fellow. You're in a bad way.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's a whole year I've been walking. Right here in this very office we settled it. You sitting right there and giving us the maps. You've been sitting there ever since. 3 years.
No. Oh, no. Why, a man couldn't change that much in 3 years. You're not Peachy Carnahan.
Yes. I was king of Kafiristan. Me and Daniel Dravit. Real crown kings we was. Just as true as gospel.
What in the name of heaven have they done to you, Peachy?
Peachy? I knew Peachy Carnahan once. He's a king. Wears a real golden crown on his head. So help me, he does. He's dead now, though.
No. You're Peachy Carnahan. You must pull yourself together, man.
Yes. Pull myself. You've got to keep looking into my eyes. Then maybe everything will go to pieces.
All right. Now, tell me what happened, Peachy.
We left the caravan at Jagdala. We struck off into the hills alone.
Go on.
Weeks it was we travelled, Daniel and me. First there wasn't no roads, and after a while, no food. But there was always the drums. Sometimes they was close, and sometimes farther off. But most of the time we could hear them somewhere.
Well, up! Move along, up! Here now. It's no place to be stopping. Up with you.
I'm fearing it's no use, Daniel.
What's got into them?
The poor beasts are done in and starved, same as ourselves. They'll go no further.
Then we'll go on without them. I've not come this far to die on the side of a mountain.
Wait. Look, Daniel. Over the edge of the rocks.
What? Oh, men they are.
There'll be a score or more of them. One goes ahead of the rest.
And naught but bows and arrows. Break out a pair of the rifles, Peachy.
Right you are, Daniel.
It's now that we start to become kings.
Here, and some cartridges too.
Easy now, Peachy. I'll drop the straggler at the rear first, and then we'll lay a few at their feet. Now arm to the one in front. We may need him. Now. Got him by the old neck. Lay on, Peachy.
Hold them, Daniel. Look at them.
Aye, flat on their blooming faces.
The leader is come out alone.
Well and good, and we'll go part way to meet him, Peachy. But keep your rifle by.
Look at him, Daniel. He be as fair as us, with yellow hair.
So he does. Part of the lost tribes, these people are.
He stopped.
I await your command, O ye who speak in the voice of thunder.
Oh, the Lord, Harry. Peachy, we're in luck. It's the old Afghan tongue he speaks. Speak up! Who are you, and whence do you come?
I am High Priest and the chief of the village of Bashkai. A journey of only a few heartbeats.
This Bashkai, how many people?
They are numbered in the thousands.
There are more villages in the hills?
More than a man has fingers and toes.
Hear that, Peachy? Here's our kingdom made to order. And you're going to take us to Bashkai. Do you understand?
I understand the voice of thunder that you speak.
Oh, he's a smooth one, Peachy. He knows a thing or two. What's your name?
Mazur Khan Jagdalur.
That's too long. What shall we call him, Peachy?
He has a look about him of an old soldiering friend of ours. Billy Fish.
So he does. We bestow a new name on you. From now on, you will be Billy Fish.
As you command, I obey.
All right. Put this on your drums. Tell them 2 kings have come out from the mountaintops. 2 kings that speak in words of thunder so the earth trembles. Tell them 2 kings have come to Kafiristan. That you, Peachy?
Daniel, why be you sitting here in the dark?
I've been thinking. A man has to stop and think sometimes.
About anything special, Daniel?
Look at them, Peachy. Look at their blinking campfires a-gleaming in the dark like the jewels in a crown.
Aye, Daniel. You've done a fine job for sure. All 23 villages you joined together as one.
'Tis the army you trained to be thanked for it. 2,000 men with a fair knowledge of bearing arms.
Some's a bit green at it yet.
They're ours now, every man, jack, woman, and child. We own 'em, body and soul.
Aye, we're kings now, Daniel. Not proper kings yet, but we will be.
Sooner than you think, Peachy.
How's that?
Billy Fish told me something today that fair amazed me. These people know the craft.
You mean they're Freemasons, Daniel? It ain't no wise possible.
So help me, it's gospel true. He give me the grip and everything. It's old, the craft is, older than the memory of man. And up here in the hills, they've been preserving it all these years. Why, some of the high priests know up through the fellow craft, but they don't know the 3rd degree. See it, Peachy? They don't know the 3rd degree, but we do.
Daniel, what is it you're fixing to do?
We're going to be proper kings. We're going to get 'em going and coming now. I'm going to turn the whole country into one grand lodge, raise some of the priests to 3rd degree, and for me, I'll be the Grand Master of Kafiristan.
Oh, but you ain't got the right to. We never been officers in no lodge.
Right? What's a king got to do with asking for a right?
Oh, I'm against it, Daniel. It's no good to go fooling around with the craft.
Ah, you talk like an old woman. The thing'll work, I know it will. We'll make it a blooming ceremony. Regular aprons with the symbol and the marks. All of us, Peachy. The kings of Kafiristan.
Everything is prepared, Master. And the priests and the people wait.
Well, they don't have to wait much longer, Billy. Here now, Peachy. How do you like my apron?
It's a wondrous sight for fair, Daniel.
Made of white ermine skin it is. And the master's mark with emeralds studded.
The mark? You know the meaning of the mark?
That I do. What's got into you, Billy?
Not. But 'tis a thing that's passing strange, Master.
Strange and rubbish. Come along now. Ready, Peachy?
Right with you, Daniel.
Then out we go. Onto the temple steps. We'll give 'em what for. Knock their blinking eyes out. That's what we'll do. Look at them, Peachy. Right down on their blooming knees and yelling their full heads off.
Oh, did I put things on me a king, Daniel? The mark! Behold! The mark!
Tis a sign.
The promised ones have come.
Here now. What's wrong with the priest, Billy?
It looks like trouble, Daniel.
No. Stand where you are, Master. They recognize the mark.
That great stone in the floor. Why do they turn it over?
Wait.
It's the same!
He bears the mark.
The promised ones have come!
Speak up, Billy Fish. What's the meaning of it?
See for yourself. Look.
Daniel, carved on the back of the stone.
It is the master's mark, all right.
And the same as the sign you wear. Only a few of the priests have known of the hidden mark on the stone.
What does it mean?
The many who have doubted you were a god doubt no longer.
And you, Billy? What do you think?
I, Master? I think that now it is the time for these.
Daniel, golden crowns.
Aye, how they glitter. Fit for the brow of a king.
'Tis what we came for.
Here now, put 'em on. We'll crown ourselves in our own right. Listen to 'em. You know something, Peachy? We come here to be kings, and that we are, all right. But blamed if we ain't a couple of blooming gods to boot, with 1,000,000 people bowing on their knees before us.
Well enough, Peachy. So it was gods you became as well as kings. But then, what happened? What became of Daniel Dravett?
Dravett? I knew Daniel Dravett once. He's a king now, Daniel is. Wears a golden crown. Canaan was with him.
Peachy, try to pull yourself together.
I'll try.
Now, you became kings, you and Daniel. Kings of all Kafiristan.
He was a fine figure, Daniel was, with his red head wearing that golden crown. Kept himself aloof from the people, so to speak. And when he walked up all the temple, the fair crawled on their stomachs to worship him.
But what happened, man?
Happened? Well, I figure mostly it was winter coming on. The winds were starting up, and the clouds was blowing down from the north. Oh, it could blow beastly cold, that winter wind.
Hey? Who's out there? That you, Billy? Confound it anyway. Here now. What's this?
I have brought you food, Master. Stew of the wild sheep with curry and rice.
Up off your knees, girl. Bring it inside.
Thank you, Master.
Place it there. Now, you're a well-favored wench.
I do not understand.
Why were you crawling on your knees?
It is a fitting way to approach the god of Kafiristan.
What's your name, girl?
Marum of Danger.
Marum, eh? You married?
It has not yet been my happy fortune, Master.
Are you afraid of me?
You are a god.
I mean, how do I seem to you? Do you find me pleasing or what?
Your face is more wondrous than the noonday sun. And your look of eagerness.
Very well, you may leave now.
Thank you, Master.
Narrow, eh? Peachy! Peachy!
Did you calling me, Daniel? Oh, the food's here, eh? Good.
Not that wind outside. Winter's about due to strike and fill the trails with snow. There'll be little moving about before spring.
Right you are.
Peachy, I've decided to take a wife.
But you can't do it, Daniel. We made a contract.
That was till we was kings. Well, kings we've been many months now.
Oh, but it's no good. I tell you now, I'm against it.
Against it? You was against using the craft, too. But look what it done for us.
Oh, but this is different. Billy Fish will tell you no, too, the same as I do.
Billy Fish, huh? Who's the king here, him or me? My mind's made up. 3 days from now, I shall have me a wife. And you can put it on the drums and tell every blighter out there in the hills. The kingdom of Kafiristan is going to have a queen. What's keeping her, Peachy? They should have brought her in here half an hour ago.
I don't know, Daniel.
How about you, Billy Fish? You put 'em up to stalling off deliberate like?
Certain preparations must be made, Master.
She's across the court with some of the priests. Maybe they're trying to harden her up a bit, Daniel. She thinks she's going to die, you know.
Aye, indeed. Why, I know this.
Master, it is against the laws of heaven for a woman to marry a god.
I'm not a god. I'm a man. You know that by now, Billy.
No, and I should not want to think so, Master. But either way, this can mean only trouble. I beg you to reconsider.
And I beg you to shut up, Billy. I'm through waiting. I'm going over there.
Master, please.
We got to go with him, Billy. And I'm thinking it's going to mean trouble. How many men can you depend on?
No more than 20 with rifles. Most of my men are in Bashkai.
Then what shall we do?
We shall have to make a run for it, I fear. We might be safe in Bashkai.
Go on now, you sparkling fools. Bring out the girl. Well, now, that's better. Here, girl, this is no way for a bride to behave. A smile now, and give us a kiss. Oh! The wench has bitten me.
Blood, Master. Don't let them see the blood.
Look! See the blood! It's not a god or a devil, but only a man!
Here, Blasi, what is this, Ross?
It is too late.
Mark, Daniel, they're coming with knives.
They can't do this. I'm the king.
We've got to run for it, Master.
Oh, come on, Daniel, come on.
I'll come back and beat their blasted heads in. That's what I'll do.
Oh, Daniel, we'll be back all right.
How much further, Billy?
Oh, only a short way. Beyond this ridge, Master.
Well, so far, so good. At last, them blooming drums are stopped.
We're at the top, Daniel.
A right good climb it's been to shoot.
Oh, wait. Look. Seems the drums have come before us, Master.
Cut off. No less than 1,000 of them standing there quiet-like, with them wicked long knives in their hands.
There'll be no getting past them, Daniel.
No. We are done for. Go back, Billy Fish, and take your men away with you. Go with him, Peachy. It's me they want. I did it. Me, the king.
No, Dan. I'm sticking with you. Billy Fish, you clear out.
I am your friend. I stay with you.
You're a good man, Billy.
Maybe coming now, Daniel.
Peachy.
Forget it, Daniel. I forgive you freely and fully.
Then let them come. There'll be one thing they can't change, Peachy. We've been kings. Kings in our own right. Kings of all Kafiristan.
sliced open poor Billy Fish like a blooming herring they did. There in the snow and the rocks.
Good Lord, man. But you, Peachy, you got away from them.
Like no way did I get away from them. They had us for fair, all right. Strung me out on a tree. Drove nails right through my hands, they did. See? But I fooled them all right. 'Cause morning came, I wasn't nowise dead. And then I made them think I'd lost my senses. They was afraid to harm me because I was protected by Allah. They cut me down then, and after a while, they let me go.
You poor devil. But what of Dravett? What happened to Daniel?
Daniel's the king. He wears the golden crown.
But now, what happened to him?
He's never left me. All them long months walking on the road back, he kept me safe. The mountains, they danced at night. But Daniel held up his hand, and Peachy came along, bent double. I never let go of Daniel's hand, nor Daniel's head that they gave me in the temple as a present. It's with me now, here, in this bundle. You knew old Daniel's. Him that was a monarch once. Look at him now. Well, and now you've seen that we was really kings. I'll be on my way. You'll pardon me, sir?
I let him go. There was little else to do. He was only hours away from his death. I sat there and stared at the bundle he had left lying on my desk, stared as the pale shafts of dawn struck fire in the red beard, stared at the golden crown, sitting too large and heavy upon the wrinkled, mummified head of Daniel Dravett, the man who would be king.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight's story, Rudyard Kipling's The Man Who Would Be King, was adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield and featured Raymond Lawrence as Peachy, Eric Snowden as Daniel Dravett, and Herbert Rawlinson as Kipling. Musical effects were created and conducted by Cy Fewer. Next week, CBS and its affiliated stations invite you to escape in Operation Fleur-de-Lis, an episode from the files of the OSS. And so, good night, until a week from tonight, when again we invite you to escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Appy have entered a repair shop in Mercury City to search for a spy from interstellar space.
The room's empty, sir. Targo was telling the truth.
It's the same. We'll take Targo to headquarters for questioning.
Commander, look. Behind that cabinet.
Don't try anything, Commander.
It's Smead.
Come out here, Smead, with your hands up.
I'm in control here, Corey. There is a deadly, invisible beam right between us. Now drop those guns, or you'll be nothing but a heap of ashes.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Designed for Disaster. Hang on to your space helmets, gang. Here comes Cadet Happy. Around the corner. Over the fence. And clear the way because here he is.
Hi, Captain Tufel.
Hi, Happy. How come all the shortcuts? Why the big rush?
Smoking rockets. I was in a hurry to get here and tell all the space patrollers about this neat new surprise the commander has for them. Take a look, Captain. It's plenty terrific.
Wow, the Space Patrol Periscope.
An honest-to-goodness Space Patrol Periscope with magic mirrors that let you see around corners, over fences, and around trees and over bushes. But nobody can see you.
Yes, sirree. You see without being seen. Over the heads of a crowd, too, because the Space Patrol Periscope is a big, 24 inches long. It's tapered special for wide-angle vision, with a real mirror at the top and one at the bottom, too.
Jumping Jupiter, gang, you sure can have fun with one of your own. The commander wants you to have one, too. And he wants all of you to listen to today's Space Patrol adventure and find out how we use our official Space Patrol Periscope.
So get your paper and pencils ready. In just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how to get your periscope.
Say, Captain, how did you know I took all those shortcuts a while back? Over the fences and around the corner. Oh, sure. How space happy can you get? You were peering through your periscope.
Right, Cadet.
Ah!
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Designed for Disaster. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have captured one of the agents from Tirana, a distant solar system that plans to attack the United Planets. For hours now, Buzz has given phonograph tests to the agent Rogart, attempting to learn all possible information about the enemy. Happy is in the commander's central office right now at Space Patrol headquarters as Buzz enters from the security lab.
Hello. How's it going, Commander? Getting anything out of Rogart?
But even to the brainograph, it's slow.
Found out where Tirana is?
Yes, it's in the constellation Pegasus. A little more than 80 light years from our solar system.
We only had enough star-drive ships to send on a scouting mission. And when's the attack scheduled?
Rogart doesn't know.
It's too bad that other agent Smead got away from us. I'll bet he knows.
Rogart might help us locate Smead. In the next session of the brainograph, I'm going to ask him to name every base of operation and every hideout Smead might visit. Thank me, Hap. Once we locate Smead and find a way to stop that attack from Tirana, the United Planets are facing slavery or annihilation.
Almost anyone is likely to enter a spaceophone repair shop. Also, strange pieces of equipment and strange noises are not likely to cause suspicion in such a place. These are two reasons why Matthew Smead has set up another Tiranian agent, Pax Targo, in a spaceophone shop in Mercury City. Smead, carrying a small receiver, has just entered Targo's shop.
Good afternoon. I wonder if you could tell me what's wrong with this set?
It's okay, Smead. No one's in the shop.
Good. Have you contacted Drift Benyon?
Yes. And he's very interested in your proposition.
I knew he would be. Benyon is the type of criminal who prefers the melodramatic.
I'd say that blowing up the Mercury City atmosphere plant just to rob a bank is more than just melodrama.
Of course. It's military strategy for the Tiranian cause. But Benyon doesn't know about that part of it, does he?
No. No, he thinks I just want a share of the bank loot.
And Benyon is willing to plan the explosive himself?
Yes, as soon as I complete the device.
It isn't finished yet?
I have a few more details to take care of. It's over there on the bench. I want to test the timing mechanism.
All right.
Now, tell me just what you told Banyan.
Well, Banyan hides the explosive in the atmosphere plant. Then he and his men put on spacesuits waiting for the explosion.
Concealed at doors.
Yes. The surface truck will be in Slaker's warehouse. When the atmosphere plant blows up, there will be a panic all over the city. Banyan and his men rush to the Mercury City Bank. Banyan's gang scoops up all the money they can lay their hands on, piles into the truck, and then goes to the spaceport.
And we'll be on Venus, waiting for Banyan to bring us our share of the money.
Suppose Banyan gets captured.
Well, we'll see that he isn't, even if we have to dispose of him ourselves. Anyway, Banyan must never know that you have any connection with Tirana. Now, hurry and finish the time bomb.
In his central office on Terra, Commander Corey has just completed his interrogation of the captured Turanian agent, Rogarth. Right now, he's telling Cadet Happy the results of the phonograph test.
Rogarth was able to locate 5 possible hideouts where he might find Smee.
No, those shouldn't take him into cover.
The trouble is, there are probably several more. But according to Rogarth, Smee might be hiding on Saturn, and Jupiter's third moon, and Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
We could alert our agents and hit all 5 places at once.
It'd be fine, but to be sure he'd be at one of those 5 places. If he's somewhere else, those simultaneous raids would only tip him off.
Yeah, that's right. It would be even harder to find.
However, I think I have something here that might solve our problem. In this cabinet. This could be the trick.
Oh, what is it?
It's that new piece of equipment I mentioned last week, Cap. The official Space Patrol periscope.
You mean that tube is going to help us find Smee?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll show you how it works. Look out the upper window, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll just move this chair up and stand on it.
No, that isn't necessary. You just take the periscope. That's it. Hold one end to your eyes and point the other end out of that top window.
Smoking rockets. It's like being 2 feet taller.
Yeah. Turning it sideways, you can see around corners with it.
Hey, this is great. If there was a criminal around the corner with a blast gun, you could find out where he was without getting hit.
That's right. And notice the wide-angle vision it gives you.
Oh, this is some gadget. But, well, I still don't see how it's going to be much help in finding Smee.
Wait till we test it out in space. When you're outside of the strong gravity field of the planet, you can use a periscope to see objects millions of BUs away.
Oh, like a high-powered telescope, huh?
That's better than a telescope, huh? If you're out in space with a telescope, you might be able to see this headquarters building here in Terra. But with the periscope, you could see inside the building. You could look into any room, anywhere.
Smoking rockets. So that's how we're going to look for Matthew Smee.
You won't know we're watching.
Well, why can't we work it right from here? Or from the roof of the building?
Because of Terra's gravity field. The periscope is like a star-drive spaceship. It operates through another dimension in hyperspace. When delicate long-distance adjustments are necessary, the periscope must be in a near-zero gravity field.
I'm sure anxious to see how it works out in space.
Well, let's go to the Terra 5, huh? We'll give the periscope its first action test.
Billions of BUs from any planet, the Terra 5 cruises through space on automatic control. Buzz and Happy examine the new Space Patrol periscope, now held securely in a bracket attached near the control panel. Buzz has attached a small, compact adjustment mechanism which enables the periscope to focus upon any remote point of space.
We drew another blank. I'll reset the adjustments for the place in Mercury City.
Oh, the Space Patrol repair shop?
Yes. I've got it, Hap. Look through the periscope.
Oh, it's like we were standing right in the street in front of the shop.
Let me take over again. I'll change the focus to inside the shop. Looks legitimate enough. Some testing equipment. Several Space Patrol receivers and transmitters taken apart. The desk with papers scattered all over.
Anyone there, sir?
Yes, there's a man working at the bench. Doesn't look like a space patrol. It's a square box with a sort of top down on it. Uh-oh. Someone's opened the door on the back of the shop. Now, take a look.
Yes, sir. Smee.
The man we're looking for, Mercury City.
We can space it from Mercury City headquarters and have that shop surrounded.
There's too much chance that Smee was something to call. Remember, he's surrounded by a whole shop full of space phone equipment. Chances are he's constantly monitoring our channels.
Yeah, that's right. And for all we know, he might even know our codes.
Keep watching him. Maybe we can pick up some hints. There it is, Smee. All ready for action.
Good. Take it easy. Don't blow it out here.
Don't worry. The safety switch is on.
And what about Griff Benyon?
He's coming here to pick it up later this afternoon.
All right, then all we have to do is... Ow! Something bit me on the hand. Where did these ants come from? Your desk is swarming with them.
Oh, put some fruit in the drawer yesterday and forgot about it.
Where's your medicine kit?
Don't worry, Smee. Those ants won't hurt you.
How do you know they won? Remember, we're from another solar system. We may not be immune to bites from these insects.
Hey, that's right. I'll get rid of them right away.
You can do that when I'm gone. Now, about this deal with Griff Benyon. You set the timing device right here. When Benyon leaves, you go to the spaceport. We don't want to be in Mercury City when the atmosphere turns over.
Smede's leaving the shop, Commander. Can we follow him with the periscope?
We can for a while, but when we get closer to Mercury, the increasing gravity field will blur the image. We'll land at Mercury City and go directly to that spaceport shop. Maybe we can make Smede's partner talk.
2 hours later, Buzz and Appy are in a surface car on a side street in Mercury City. Leaving the car a block from the shop, they continue on foot. In the shop, Targall is carefully going through his papers, destroying incriminating evidence.
Yes, gentlemen? Something I can do for you?
Do you run this shop?
Yes, I do. I'm Pax Targall. We're looking for a man named Smede. Matthew Smede. Smede? I don't believe I know anyone by that name. We'll just take a look around, Targall. You won't find your Mr. Smede here. No, maybe, but he was, you know.
Yeah, we saw him.
You saw him?
No, let's not argue.
Lead the way into that back room. Go on, Targall. You can follow that. Yes, sir. There. As you can see, the room is empty. I'm taking you to headquarters for questioning, Targall. Just what is this all about?
Commander, look, behind that cabinet.
Don't try anything, Commander.
It's Smede.
Come on here, Smede, with your hands up.
I'm in control here, Commander. Do you hear that sound? That's a disintegrator beam.
Disintegrator beam?
That's right, Cadet. There's a deadly, invisible beam in this room, forming a wall between you and me.
Turn it off, or I'll use this ray gun.
Try it, and I'll sweep this beam over you. In a fraction of a second, you'll be nothing but a heap of ashes. Now, drop those guns.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. All set on the pencils and papers, gang. In just seconds, you're going to find out how you can get your super sensational Space Patrol Periscope. The official Space Patrol Periscope with the magic mirrors that let you see around corners, over fences, while nobody can see you. Yes, you see without being seen. And, gang, just wait till you get your first look through. It's a big 24 inches long and tapered special for wide-angle vision with 2 mirrors, one at the top, one at the bottom. It comes in real George space colors, too. Blue, yellow, and red. Wowie! Think of the fun you can have peering at your pals through your periscope. And you'll have lots of fun putting your periscope together, too. You do it yourself. Easy directions are right on the envelope it comes in. And it takes only a few minutes, and presto, you're set to start peering through your periscope. Now, gang, remember, you can see around corners and over fences and around trees, over bushes, but nobody can see you. Okay? You set with pencil and paper? Here's how you get your official Space Patrol Periscope. Send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. Now, Space Patrollers, don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure designed for disaster. With the aid of the new Space Patrol Periscope, Buzz and Happy located Matthew Smede in a hideout in Mercury City. Smede and his accomplice, Pax Targall, are agents from the remote solar system Tirana, which is preparing to attack the United Planets. When Buzz and Happy accosted Smede in the back room of the Spaceophone repair shop, Smede cut on a disintegrator beam and threatens to focus the deadly rays on the Space Patrollers.
You haven't a chance, Corey. Do as you're told.
If that's the disintegrator beam, Smede, why doesn't it destroy the walls of this room?
It's simple. It's tuned to a frequency that affects only living tissues. It doesn't harm inorganic, lifeless matter. However, if you like a demonstration, just watch what happens to the cadet.
All right, Smede, this round is yours. Drop your ray gun, Happy.
Yes, sir. Very wise gentlemen. Targall.
Yeah?
When Corey and the cadet step back, and I'm sure they will, you pick up their weapons. Don't move till I tell you to. You might step into the disintegrator beam.
I'll wait, don't worry.
Step back, gentlemen. Into that closet. Go on. All right, Targo. Get their guns.
You can cut off the disintegrator now, Smeed. I got him covered.
Lock them in the closet.
Sure.
Now, I want you to get on the phone and call your friend.
Oh, you mean?
Yes, you know very well who I mean. Tell him there has been a change in plans. We will bring the necessary equipment to him.
What about Corey and the cadet?
When we leave, I'll turn the beam on. That'll keep them under control. There. He can't get out of this room without knocking out a wall. Now get that bomb and let's get out of here.
I hear anything out there, sir? I think they've gone.
I think Smeed about us off that easy. Let's try breaking out and see what happens.
No objection so far.
I'll give him another kick.
The room's empty, sir. They've gone off.
Hold it, Hat. Don't move. The disintegrator beam is on.
Oh, and I was just about to cross the room.
The source of that beam is down there.
We can get to that machine and turn it off.
No, we can't. We'd placed it where we can't get to it without stepping into the beam.
Then we're blocked.
We could only find exactly where that beam is and locate its boundaries. Perhaps we could crawl under it. Uh-oh.
Well, what is it, sir?
Look down at the floor next to the wall.
You don't see anything? Except a swarm of ants.
That's what I mean. Either they're crawling along the molding. An army of them. Pat, if we can get some of those ants in that metal bar, we can use it as a test rod. We'll move it around slowly. When the ants start disappearing or dropping off, we'll know that they...
Hey, we'll know we're on the beam. Great. I'll get the rod.
Get some ants on it. And we'll start near the floor and work up.
Carefully holding the bar at arm's length, Commander Corey probes for the invisible beam. Inch by inch, he advances across the room.
Be careful, sir. It's a foot off the floor, and the ants are still okay. Uh-oh. Now they're gone.
This is the lower limit of the disintegrator beam, Hat. About 18 inches off the floor at this point. We'll lie on our stomachs and crawl across the room to the door. And keep low.
Don't worry, sir. I'll be so flat you'll think it's my shadow.
Moments later, Buzz and Happy are in their surface car. As they drive toward Mercury City headquarters, the commander issues spaceophone orders to the City Patrol Division.
Are those instructions clear, Captain?
Yes, Commander. I'll assign men to watch the repair shop. The guards at the spaceport will be alerted to stop speed and cargo as they show up.
Oh, one more thing, Captain. I want you to check on a couple of phone numbers I found on scraps of paper at the spaceophone shop. Find out who they're listed to and the address.
Yes, sir.
They're both Mercury City numbers. Virgo 45907 and Thor 23611.
I'll trace them immediately, Commander.
Inform Colonel Harris that I'm blasting off immediately to make some tests with the new periscope. May be able to locate Smeed with it. Corey out.
Elsewhere, in another part of Mercury City, Smeed and Targol wait impatiently beside a spaceophone.
What's wrong with Banyan? Why doesn't he call?
I hope he didn't lose his nerve.
Well, he's had plenty of time to place that explosive at the atmosphere plant. Get it.
Yeah?
This is Banyan. Everything all set?
Have any trouble?
Not a bit. Time bomb is dead, but nobody can find it, even if they were looking for it.
Where are you now?
At a booth at the Space Hotel.
Better get to the warehouse. There isn't much time.
I'm on my way now.
Okay, Banyan. See you later. Everything's going fine, Smeed.
You get over to the warehouse. We can use 2 of those stolen spacesuits for our getaway.
Thousands of DUs from the planet Mercury, Buzz and Happy recheck Smeed's known hideouts for a trace of activity, focusing the periscope carefully from planet to planet.
Captain Walters at Space Patrol Headquarters, Mercury City, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
Corey here. Go ahead, Captain.
I've traced both of those numbers, Commander. The Virgo number's a doctor's office. Dr. Chandler. Doc's okay. He says a packed Targol made an appointment by phone and then canceled out. He never saw a Targol and he never heard of Matthew Smeed.
How about that phone number?
That's listed in Slaker's warehouse on Meridian Street. There's no answer.
What's the address?
101 North Meridian.
I'll check it with the periscope. Anything else, Captain?
Nothing on Smeed Dr. Targle. We got a report from the atmosphere plant. One of the guards thought he saw Griff Banyan duck down the stairway.
The guard sure it was Banyan?
Yes, sir. But he got away. Colonel Harris has ordered a complete search of the atmosphere plant. So far, we haven't found anything.
Ask the colonel to continue the search. Keep all Space Patrol personnel away from that warehouse while I scan it with a periscope. I'll contact you later. Hurry out. Have get that map of Mercury City and check the coordinates of that warehouse.
I've already done it, Commander.
On the way, just for luck, we'll see what's going on at the atmosphere plant.
Okay. If Griff Banyan's hiding there, the periscope might be able to sneak up on him where the guards couldn't.
Methodically, with delicate adjustment of the periscope focusing control, Buzz explores every corridor, every room of the vast atmosphere plant in Mercury City. They watch the technicians at work. They see guards searching storerooms, peering behind machinery. There is no sign of Griff Banyan.
Well, if Banyan was there, he's gone now.
Yeah. With the periscope, we've been able to look into places the guards overlook.
Wait a minute. Take a look at this. Look under that large vent. What do you see?
It's a piece of equipment. A meter of some kind, I guess.
Doesn't it look familiar?
Well, in a way, yes. It's sort of crude and homemade, but...
The last time we saw that box, it was on a bench in Targo's spacephone repair shop.
That's right. Now I remember. Sure, there couldn't be two boxes just like that.
There's a tie-in between Sneed and Griff Banyan. We're really into trouble.
You think either Sneed or Targo gave that box to Banyan, and Banyan put it in the atmosphere plant?
Probably. Very likely an explosive of some kind.
Oh, if that main filter blows up, it'll cut off the air supply for all of Mercury City.
When I contact Mercury City headquarters, you switch the periscope back to that warehouse. I thought of something I overlooked.
Yes, sir.
Send a courier aboard Terrified calling Captain Walters at Mercury City headquarters. Urgent. Courier to Mercury City headquarters.
Captain Walters here, Commander.
Captain, listen carefully. Send a demolition squad to the central air purifying chambers at the atmosphere plant. Under the main vent, they'll find a small box. It's probably a time bomb.
Well, that's why Griff Banyan...
There may not be much time, Captain. I want trained demolition men on that job right away.
Yes, Commander.
Double the guard at the spaceport. Sneed and Toggle are working with Banyan. With that bomb ready to go off, they'll stop at nothing to escape. Hurry out. How about that periscope? You got the warehouse yet?
Yes, sir, but the image isn't too clear. I thought I saw something move, sir, near the truck.
You did. There are 4 men there, all carrying something. Spacesuit. With official Space Patrol insignia.
We'd better tip off headquarters to round them up.
I'll order a stakeout surrounding the block. Move in now might scare away the men we're after, the ringleaders. The image is completely gone now. Take the periscope out of the bracket. You may need it when we get back to Mercury City.
Landing at Mercury City Spaceport, Buzz and Happy find no indication of alarm. Under the normal activity, Space Patrol personnel are quietly preparing for any emergency if disaster should strike. Right now, in the service car, Buzz and Happy speed to the warehouse on Meridian Street. As it pulls to a stop at the rear of the structure, Buzz makes a last-minute spacephone check with headquarters.
Korean surface car M78 calling Captain Walters at headquarters.
Walters here, Commander.
Happy now at the warehouse. Any word from the atmosphere plant?
It just came in. It was a bomb, all right, but it's harmless now.
Oh.
Demolition men said it was the trickiest gadget they ever handled. It was set to go off at 1,500 hours. If it had, the whole air purifier unit would have been blown clear through the atmosphere shell.
Close call. Thanks, Captain. Stand by. Hurry out. Now, Hap, here's where we go to work. In the periscope.
Yes, sir.
Small window we can just reach with the periscope. Careful.
Yes, sir.
What do you see?
Several men. All in spacesuits except one. He's getting one laid out. It's Targo.
Yes, I see.
I can't tell. Some of them are getting into the truck. And Targo's looking at his watch.
Just 1500. I expect I'll explain to them.
Oh, it's fine. 4 men in the back of the truck and the 5th man is robbing the men. But they got him willingly if they can't.
Unbelievable. Probably doing one thing that was an accidental discovery. That's a 5th man. It's Griff Banyan.
Quick planted the time bomb.
Look into the door. Get ready.
Yes, sir.
Something's gone wrong with the bomb. You must have tampered with the setting.
You crazy. Look, I'm or no bomb. The boys and I are going to pull off that bank job.
Get your hands up, Banyan. You too, Targo.
Banyan, unlock the talk. Let the boys out.
No, you don't, Banyan.
Get Banyan, Hap. I'll handle Targo.
All right, Banyan, on your feet. And get out of that spacesuit. You won't be needing it.
Nice tackle, huh? Well, you want to continue the workout, or will you tell me where to find your pal Smeed? He's near the spaceport, waiting for the explosion.
Yeah? Well, we've got news for you. The only thing that's going to blow up will be Smeed's plans.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. A secret agent from outer space, or a spy right here on Earth. That's you, Space Patrollers, spying through the magic mirrors of your neat new official Space Patrol periscope. And man, oh man, you're in for plenty of exciting times with yours. You can set your periscope sights on all your Earth pals, spy on them from around corners, over fences, and from behind trees. Those magic mirrors of your periscope let you see them, but they'll never, never see you. Yes, sir. You see without being seen.
All right, Dick. Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. And listen, here's something special that'll come in mighty handy when you're out space flying. It's an identification chart printed right on your periscope. Shows you exactly what the people who live on all the major planets might look like. What's more, on every periscope, there's a place for your name, address, and solar system.
And remember, Space Patrollers, this is a real periscope. A big 24 inches long and tapered special for wide-angle vision, with a mirror on top and one on the bottom.
Space Patrollers, be the first official space spy in your gang. Get your own official Space Patrol periscope today.
And here's how you get them. Send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That address again is Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents and your Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Bite-sized checks taste good to me. Bite-sized checks, Wheat Chex, Rice Chex. Get your checkerboard cereal today.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are in their Star Drive ship when a patrol ship piloted by the spy, Matthew Smeed, suddenly approaches.
Keep watching Smeed in the periscope, Hap. I'll blast away to another part of space.
Yes, sir. Commander, what's wrong?
A rocket's cut out. The emergency units are dead. We're in free fall.
You're completely helpless, Corey.
The Space Patrol. It's Smeed.
There is no escape, Commander. You're prisoners of Tirana.
Be sure to listen next week for the thrilling story, Prisoners of Tirana, when Rice Chex and Wheat Chex again present Space Patrol. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, and Bela Kovacs. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Chex and Wheat Chex present exciting action on Space Patrol. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.